I'm here today with Dr. Celeste Gaia, who's a psychology professor here at Emory, and also the director of the Office of International Education. How are you doing today?
I'm just fine. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. What is the Study Abroad program? Because that's what you're here to talk about. You're talking about students' opportunities to go abroad and learn. So what is the program?
We've just established an Office of International Education at Emory Henry. This is a new thing. We've always had students who've studied abroad, but it's been very few students and not very organized in its implementation. So the program now with the official office actually helps to promote study abroad, helps to promote international education on campus. And the main goal is really to prepare students for the 21st century. We want students who can think critically, who are globally aware, who are flexible in their thinking, and that's really what our goal is with international education.
Okay, so Study Abroad program has been on Emory's campus for a while now. So how many students have participated and what kind of trips have been offered prior to now?
We really have two main areas where students have studied abroad. One is in this traditional semester or year abroad, and we have about less than 1% of our students who do that at this point. We would like to increase that number. We also have courses that have embedded study abroad components, and I'll talk about those today because I'd really like to describe a few that are happening in the spring. But we have these courses where students have participated, and generally we'll have about 35 to 40 students a year who participate in these types of courses.
All right. So what do students gain from their experiences? What have they told you that was so important about this studying abroad?
Well, a lot of what they gain is personal. We find that students who study abroad actually come back with a sense of self-confidence. They have renewed excitement for their academic area of study, and they have a sense of self-esteem that they feel comes from being able to navigate a foreign place, most of the time in a foreign language. They learn to use public transportation, for instance, but we also see professional gains. Employers today want graduates who are globally aware and they've worked in an international context. In fact, I recently read a quote from the RAND Corporation that looks at what employers want in college graduates, and they said that even though American students are very prepared in their fields, they lack international experience, and it really puts them at a disadvantage. And since we have a lower rate of students at Emory Henry who study abroad compared to the rest of the nation, I think that it's really important that we encourage our students to take part.
Definitely, I agree. So this program is being implemented into the newest core curriculum, the newest set of core classes that students have to take. Is that right?
Yes. This year students can participate in study abroad, but the class that starts next fall in 2009, they will actually have a Emory Abroad requirement. So they have to take part in either a semester abroad, a year abroad, a summer program, or one of the courses with an embedded study abroad component. The other option to that is to take a course that's been designated International Exploration, which would be a course on campus taught by a faculty member. So we understand that not all students right away will be able to do study abroad, but we do encourage that as the preferred option.
Right. I know that a lot of students are interested in this program, but is it really affordable for students? I've heard that programs can get up to $4,000, $5,000 just to spend a couple weeks abroad. I know that a lot of students here on Emory's campus and prospective students probably can't afford that. Is there, what are the options as far as that?
That's a burning question because that's one of the first things students ask me when they come into my office is, I can't afford this. How can I get scholarships? How can I get help with this? And what we're actually finding is that the administration at Emory Henry has decided to make a real monetary investment in study abroad, and the way that's done is that when students study abroad for a semester, they are in most cases given all of their federal and state financial aid and also their institutional aid, which normally would stay here on campus. So we send that abroad so that students can have this experience. So for some programs, students don't spend much more than they would if they were here on campus, and I don't think many students know that. I try to help students find affordable programs. For instance, programs in the UK tend to cost more than programs, say, in Central or Eastern Europe. So if students can be flexible and still have those programs fit into their major area of study, I think that's the best way to go about it. The summer programs are more expensive. Most of the time, by the end of the spring semester, students have used most of their financial aid, and so that money is out of pocket for a student, and we find that our students have a hard time paying for that. So I really encourage the semester abroad or one of the courses that has the embedded study abroad component. They do have extra fees, but it's less than you might spend on a summer program.
Well, it's really great that the administration's trying to help out with the program. What are the upcoming opportunities this year or coming up in the next couple of years for students that, if they're interested?
Okay, we have the traditional semester abroad always. We have a partnership through the CIEE, which is the Council on International Education Exchange, and also through Butler University. They have programs that we use in Arcadia University. But as far as programs where students take courses on campus, this spring we have Professor Porterfield, who's offering an audio production course that travels to Australia and New Zealand over spring break. We have Professor Stoicheva Harisyan, who's teaching a course called Theater and Culture in Bulgaria, and she's taking students to Bulgaria. We have Professor McConnell in biology, who teaches a tropical biology course each year that travels to Costa Rica after commencement. And another new opportunity, something that we're trying that I hope works for Professor Goolsby, is a summer program in Florence for 5 weeks. Students can go for 5 weeks. They get 6 credit hours. They can take their global studies there. They can take a studio art class or an Italian culture and life class. And that's a new thing. Considering some financial constraints, we do worry that program won't make, but we're hopeful, and we're recruiting throughout the area, not just at Emory Henry.
That's really great. So if students are interested, what should they do?
They should come to see me. My office is in McLaughlin Street 120, or they can email me. We have a study abroad website under distinctive programs on our main website, and so if they could look there, they'll find all the information that they need on how to contact me and what programs we offer. And I'm really hoping that study abroad will become the norm at Emory Henry, not just the exception.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.